Alright guys, welcome back to Ravenwood Gaming and welcome back to Rainbow Six Siege season or year 11 season 1 Silent Hunt. Today I kind of want to go over how I feel with the current state of the game, like in terms of training, not just warming up. I'm going to go over like the best ways of warming up, the do's and don'ts essentially. And common mistakes I see people do across like TikTok live and whatnot too. Now, everybody warms up differently, but when you're warming up and training your aim, you want to be in a controlled environment, meaning you don't want to be doing deathmatch, TDM, free for all. Those are short gunfights, and that's not an effective way of warming up. A good way of warming up is clear house. Also, in Clear House, you can toggle it to only ranked maps. So if you're newer to the game and you're trying to warm up and get ready for ranked, etc. Like let's say you're still pretty new to the game. Let's say you're like clearance level 40. I recommend just training in these game modes over and over and over again. But don't do the same map. All these maps here are all the current ranked maps. So if you learn the map knowledge for all of these maps, common angles, common peaks, etc., then you will proceed throughout Copper pretty quickly. Also, don't just watch like YouTubers like myself. Go watch Varsity, go watch, Marley, go watch some of these more competitive players and just try to replicate their movement style and whatnot. Find what you can call a good ADS. Consistency is what equals your best performance. High sense is not always the solution in this game either. You could also, you could copy someone else's sense, get a few good games and still end up, not being good with that sense. You might get you'll get what I call the false sense. You'll copy someone's sense, you might, perform well for a little bit, and then, you'll get to that peak, and then you'll start falling off, where you just won't get any kills anymore, and your aim's kind of all over the place. What you can call it. Siege uses something called EDPI as well. What you can call it, which means whatever your mouse DPI is, just multiply that. So most pro league players, they play on a lower DPI, higher ADS, and lower look around, which gives you better control of how you're moving around, your consistency. Now, the only time you should ever be playing on a higher DPI than like 600, 800, even like 1600 is still too high. The only time you should ever be playing that is if you're on a mouse like mine. I use a very heavy mouse, the Republica Gamer Zapata X. This mouse is almost half a pound, but I also have really big hands, so having a bigger and heavier mouse works for me. I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't recommend this if your goal is esports titles only. I don't recommend this mouse unless you have extremely large hands like mine. But with that being said, we'll go into a clear house. And I'm going to show you guys some sensitivity setups as well. So let's go to options. All right. I covered some of this in a previous video. Make sure that you're on full screen, not, windowed or borderless. Full screen, max FPS that your monitor allows. Field of view, I recommend only playing on 90. Aspect ratio, that changes every time we can call it. I mess with the display mode, but I like to play on 16:9. I would go through here and find which one you're best comfortable with. I find myself playing better on 16:9. I turn VSync off personally. I don't. It's really just not needed. FOV, field of view, 90. Just play on 90. Brightness, just find your own medium for that. Graphics, C's looks great at low settings, so most of this I want to touch. Anti-aliasing I would do though, because I use TAA2X. I just find it smoother at a higher resolution. Drone speed on hold, raw input on. This improves reactivity. I don't use invert mouse. Now, I play on this because of my mouse being so heavy. And then I play on 38. I normally play higher or lower. I tend to play lower on the snipers. So like the 3 times, 5 times, 12 times, these are like Callie's senses and glass. But most of the time 1x and 2x, I play, what you call it, 38 and 39. Gadget deployment standard, drone deployment standard. I don't like using advanced because you have to press the gadget button and then hold to interact, and it's harder to cancel that way. Aim, hold, lean toggle, sprint toggle, crouch toggle, prone toggle, walk hold. I use hold on this. That way, when I'm moving up, I'm only pressing my left alt to walk. This gives you a lower sound cue when you're walking up on somebody or about to swing somebody. Controller, doesn't really matter. You know, keybinds, just find the keybinds that you're natural with and comfortable with. You know, picking an operator, you know, you shouldn't just be playing one operator, you should find multiple that you're good with. Clear house is a good way because even if you don't have all the operators unlocked, there's a list that you can choose from. So this is how my game looks on 16:9. Always shoot default cams. Oh, there was one there. I have not warmed up today. But yeah, you know, find a sense that you're comfortable with. You know, toggle your mouse down. Sorry guys, I had to clear my throat there. You know, don't play super aggro. You know, if you're having trouble, you can always turn pings on so you can see where the enemies are. Another thing is get crosshair placement down as well. Best way of doing that, you see this buckle right here? If you get crosshair discipline, right? As this guy stands up, okay, he's just gonna crouch and then stand up after he kills me, but... Right. But like I was saying, crosshair discipline. This is head level right here. This buckle on the barricade, the center of this buckle here, is exactly head level. So if you walk around the map, keeping your crosshair at that level. You don't want to be looking at the floor, you kind of want to keep it up. Obviously, this guy's going to be higher because he's standing on something. But see, my crosshair line's right up to him. So... good practice is keeping your crosshair level. Because the whole point, right, is if you're keeping it up and he's crouched like that, is to flick down quickly and still get the headshot. So as you see, I quickly flicked down and hit the one that was crouched. So keeping my crosshair up helps me get the headshot. Alright, we're gonna end this for now. Now, controlling recoil control and training in that way, the best way of doing that is to go straight into the shooting range. We're gonna go over something else here that you can do as well. That will also improve your aim and whatnot. We'll just take Striker. Game's bugging a little bit. Oh, I'm pretty bad with this gun, but you know, just practicing your recoil control, pulling down on your mouse. Get that grouping as small as it can. You know, you can also move it away. I normally, if I'm in this range, I normally only tap fire with guns, because most of them, the spray's just going to be all around. I'm not bolo. Because a lot of times your gun's just going to pull crazily. But if you're tap firing, you have lower, you know what I mean? You have lower recoil control and what you call it. You can just kind of flick on them. Alright. Switch our loadout here. Alright. Another thing is dots. Practicing tracing, right? So just practice, you know, moving your mouse at the same speed as these dots. Is a good way of learning tracing. You know, shoot every once in a while so they get different distances. That's a good way. Another thing you can do, right, is you can turn them on idle. They can begin. And then we can practice flicking on our target. Practice moving your scope as you do it, tilting your gun.
Shooting range clock speed up in 1 hour.
But this is the best way of training. I've seen a lot of low-end content creators say just go to TDM, just go to TDM. That's not really a good way of warming up. But just coming in here and just, you know, full autoing it. I have no idea what scope setup or weapon setup I have on this gun. I don't really play a striker, but you know, just come in here and just practice and get your aim down, you know? And for movement and whatnot, you can practice your movement in clear house better than, you know, TDM and whatnot. And what you can call it, just try to replicate what you see from pros like Atheno, Varsity. Varsity normally goes live pretty daily. Just try to replicate what they're doing, learn map setups, so like by the time you get to ranked, you'll be ready to set up site properly with your team. A lot of times if you're solo queue, your teammates are going to be kind of dog water and not set up site, especially in lower ranks. I'm going to link a video right here at the top right corner to one of my recent videos on where I was playing unranked with one of my buddies. And in there, I have a really good setup that I learned from Atino on, what you call it, on the top floor side of Bank. What you call it. I also used that last night in my solo queue to silver, from bronze to silver. I'm currently bronze too, as you saw earlier. But what you call it. In that video, I also replicated the same thing in ranked, and I contested square. So what you can call it, I believe I got 1 or 2 kills on square that way. But a lot of them were too hesitant to push square. In that video, you'll see the site setup. So, you know, go watch some YouTube videos, learn some more site setups. And what you can call it, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope this video helped some of you guys with warming up and training. There is another game mode that you guys can do to, if you're still new. Hold on, my screen's gonna freak out for a second. But another thing you guys can do is, I forget what it's called, but there's another one under training where it's a 5v5 with bots. What you can call it. If you turn that on advanced difficulty and then turn off AI teammates and just do it by yourself solo, it simulates a 3-round match, I believe. And what you can call it, just practice, you know, headshots only, etc. And just, you know, learn to set up the site because it's going to simulate prep time, etc. That gives you time to practice setting up site quickly and also getting your traps out. So like, let's say you're playing Thorn, Frost, Caccan, etc. You'll be able to get your stuff set up first and then get site set up in a quick amount of time. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. God bless and have a great day.